All right, you know what time it is. Live from the Bare Muscle Garage, it's time for Fit Crew. What do we got in store for you today? Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So for today's workout, we've got a nice straightforward 5-round workout for you here. We're going to be doing 5 rounds of 9 bar-facing burpees and 9 thrusters. And we may be looking at this thinking, oh man, burpees again. But don't worry, guys. As always, we're going to warm up really well. We're going to go over some tips and we're going to go through all the options that will allow you to do this workout or your version of it right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. But let's go ahead and start this general warm up. Here we go. Let's get some arm circles going back. Arm circles back. And as you know, my name is Coach Chris. I am a level 3 CrossFit trainer, which means I've logged thousands of hours over many years, helping many people just like you live their best life through health and fitness. Let's move on to arms across the chest. Hug yourself, love yourself. One of the ways I've been privileged to help you guys live your best life is through the Committed Club Academy. And in the Academy, we dive deep into the power of motivation, nutrition, sleep and recovery, supplementation. And we dig deep into our workout methodology, what we do in these workouts, why we do it, how it works so well. Let's move on to the wrist wave here. So if you've attended the Academy 1 or more times, how has it helped you? For instance, let's hear first from Twin One. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from, and you've attended the Academy multiple times. You've made use of the on-demand feature as well. How has the Academy helped you to stay on track?
Yes, I've done the Academy several times and it's helped me every time. Um, I think trying to stay fit and healthy is very hard and you need that support system. And the Academy definitely gives you that support system. It takes you back to basics. It helps you take it a step at a time. It doesn't, it educates you. So you have the tools and you have the support you need to hit your goals and grow from them. And so every time that I go, it's either I work on the same thing again and again, or I work on something new that because I progressed to a new challenge that I got to face. But it's definitely worth going several times to. I strongly recommend it. So if you got a chance to go for it.
Thank you, Twin One, for your great example. Let's move on to some high knees. High knees into chest, or if it works better, you could do some high elbows like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from, and how has the Academy helped you to stay on track?
Hi, my name's Venicia. I'm from Georgia. The academy helped me stay on track. Especially this time, I couldn't attend all the classes, so I had to do some of the days on demand. But it really made you feel like you're still there. I participated, and with the group and everything. So, and it also, this time around, just to learn new things. No matter how many times you go, you might learn something or see how things work and how things get put together, and you be like, oh, okay, I understand it now. So it really, the knowing the whole how the whole program work out, it helps me stay on track.
And thank you, Mighty Mouse, for making full use of that on-demand feature and still being an awesome team captain, participating very well with your team. Let's move on to some calf raises. Up on the toe, back on the heel, up on the toe, back on the heel. Or if it works better, we can do some wrist extensions like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Millicent. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from. How has the Academy helped you to stay on track?
I'm Millicent in Chicago, and I appreciate going to the Academy several times because it has helped me to refocus on things, habits that I've had. It helps me to stick with those habits and to really realize the importance of those habits And I've had the opportunity mostly to be live, but there has been times where I have gone. One time I knew since I'm in a different time zone, my time was off. So I got a chance to go back to see the beginning. And then there's other times I just go and look at the on demand because it just further allows me to think about what was said and then to remember what was said. And so it's very helpful to have that behind my belt. So I appreciate being able to go because it's very educational and it really digs deep into what we do as being a part of CrossFit.
And thank you, Millicent, as well, for your great example, making full use of the on-demand videos, even when you attend the live class. Let's go ahead and move on to some jumping jacks, or we could do some stepping jacks if we want low impact. And so the Academy is the best way to fully understand and get the most out of this program, and not just the workouts, but to understand the nuts and bolts, the why and the how behind all the habits that we promote. Why do we need sleep? Why should we drink water? Why should we plan out those meals? And so, if any of this sounds interesting to you, please click that link that's in this video to enroll in the next semester, or feel free to message me directly for details. And let's go ahead and take a break from the warm-up, guys, and we're going to move on to the activation phase, which is where we're going to do a couple different moves that are going to help us to get specifically ready for today's workout. So the first move we're going to do is the pigeon. And let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate the pigeon for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the pigeon is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in here and let's sink into the pigeon on this side. So a couple things to keep in mind. We are laying face down on the ground. We've got the one leg up and across the chest, other leg back, and we are sinking into this pose here, opening up those hips. And the pigeon is one of the most important activations that we do, especially when we are going to be doing some squats like we're doing today. And let's go ahead and switch legs here. So we're going to get the other leg up and the other leg across. And like we said, the pigeon is super important because it activates the glutes. It relieves issues that might be going on with the IT band and promotes good squat positioning. We always talk about chest up, shoulders back, knees out to the side. And that is actively what we are improving here with the pigeon. Next, we have some bird dogs, and let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 bird dogs for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the bird dog is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 bird dogs together. So it could be that doing the bird dog on the hands and knees like this could be a bit of a challenge, in which case we may choose to do the dead bug. And let's have Twin One demonstrate here. This is going to be where we're actually laying on the back, and we've got the arms up, knees up, and we are lowering opposite arm, opposite leg. And so we have similar benefits without as much tension on the knees and wrists. But if we're doing the bird dog as prescribed, we're on hands and knees, raising opposite arm, opposite leg, holding the top there for about 2 seconds before switching sides. And so good job here on these bird dogs, or dead bugs, or whatever version is better for us. Next, we're going to do some walk the floors. Let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 1 walk the floor for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, Then the walk the floor is going to look like this. So let's all join in here and let's do 5 walk the floors together. Now, it could be that getting all the way down to the ground is a bit of a challenge for us, in which case we have a couple options here. We could do the walk the floor just down to the plank position. Let's have twin 1 demonstrate here. We're going to reach down, touch those toes, walk it out to the plank, and then bring that back, always being careful to lead with the hips on the way back. Or it could be that we need to do this off of an incline surface, just like we see Millicent doing here. We've got those feet up against the surface, and then we're going to take a big step back and then step forward and clap overhead. But if we're doing this to the ground as prescribed, we're walking it out, getting that chest on the ground, leading with the hips on the way back up so we're not snaking or worming, and then getting all the way back, shoulders back at the top. So good job here on these walk the floors. And next, we've got some air squats. Let's have twin 1 demonstrate 2 air squats for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the air squat is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 air squats together. So a couple things to keep in mind. In the air squat, the feet are going to be shoulder width apart, and we're going to be standing with the chest up, shoulders back. We're going to initiate by sending those hips back and down, pushing the knees out to the side throughout the movement until we get all the way down, hips below knees. And then we're going to drive through the heels until we get all the way back up to a fully standing locked out position. Now, it could be that getting those hips all the way down below the knees is a bit of a challenge for us, in which case we may choose to do some assisted squats by sitting and standing to a chair or a footstool. And let's have Millicent demonstrate a couple reps here. And so we could use a chair, we could use a footstool, we could use a medicine ball, or whatever target for assistance, but we're going to sit back and then stand up, preferably without the assistance of the hands. And so good job here on these air squats. Next, what I'd like everyone to do is let's go ahead and grab a broomstick or a mop or a PVC pipe. We always start light before we go heavy. Plus, we're going to do some extra shoulder mobility right now, opening up some things. So we want nothing heavier than a broomstick for now. So with the broomstick in hand, we're going to do some pass-throughs. And let's go ahead and have Millicent demonstrate 2 pass-throughs for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the pass-through is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 pass-throughs together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We are going to have a nice wide grip on that broomstick, and we are going to pull that up and over all the way around, touching that lower back in the back, belly button in the front, and then most importantly, that pass-through smile. We want to get that smile to relax those muscles and help us to have a nice fluid range of motion. And so good job here on these pass-throughs. Next, we're going to do some front squats, and let's go ahead and have twin 1 demonstrate 2 front squats for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then for the front squat, we're going to do some hang power cleans like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the front squat together. So a couple things to keep in mind here. On the front squat, we're going to have those hands right outside the shoulders, palms facing up, and we're going to initiate by setting those hips back and down, pushing the knees out to the side, and we're going to fight our hardest to push those elbows forward and up, getting as low as we can, hips below the knees if possible. And then we are going to drive through the heels on the way back up. Now, it could be that getting those hips all the way down below the knees is a challenge for us, in which case we can do some assisted squats. And let's actually turn those hands around there, Millicent, with the palms facing up on the bar, right? But let's have Millicent demonstrate a couple of front squats here from the seated assisted squat position. We're going to sit back on that chair and then rock forward, stand up, and let's do our best to fight those elbows forward and up. And so good job here on these front squats. And finally, here in the activation phase, we're going to do some strict press. And let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the strict press for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then the strict press is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the strict press together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're going to have those hands right outside the shoulders, feet close together underneath the hips, elbows up. And then we're going to take a deep breath in, pressing those arms back as we get the head through. And we are getting those biceps into the ears at the top, pushing as high up as we can, really locking out those elbows as high as we can get that bar in the air. And so good job here on the strict press. Well, that's it for the activation phase. Now we're going to move on to the movement prep, which is where we're going to practice specifically the 2 moves that we're doing in today's workout. The first move is bar-facing burpees. These are over the bar burpees. And let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the bar facing over the bar burpee for us. That was 1. That was 2. And notice we count the rep after you've jumped to the other side. So this move is both burpee and then jump. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then the over the bar burpee for today is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 6 reps of these over the bar facing burpees. Now, this bar facing burpee could be a challenge for us for a number of reasons. Number 1 could be because of space. So if we need to do the lateral burpee, that's okay for today. And let's have twin one demonstrate the lateral over the bar burpee. So that's where we're parallel with the bar. We get down and then jump or hop over that bar sideways. Once again, only counting the rep after we've landed on the other side. Now, it could be that getting that chest all the way to the ground is a bit of a challenge, in which case we could do a plank burpee, whether it's bar facing or lateral, that's up to you. But we're going to get our hands on the ground and either jump or step those feet back to the plank and then jump forward, optionally stepping over the bar if we need to. but if we can get a hop over the bar today, that is definitely a personal challenge. Now, it could be that we need to do incline burpees. And let's have twin one demonstrate a couple reps here. So we're going to have our feet up against the incline surface, and then we're going to take a couple steps back. Optionally, we're going to hit a push-up, getting our chest to touch that object, and then step back in and clap overhead. And that's going to be the incline burpee. But if we're doing the over-the-bar burpee as prescribed, once again, we're getting our chest and thighs to the ground. And if we want to do the standard version of the burpee today, we are looking for a hop over that bar, a jump, as opposed to a step. And so to the extent that our knees and joints can take that, let's definitely practice that jump. But remembering that a step is always an option as needed. So good job here on these burpees, whatever version we choose to do today. The second move we're doing in today's workout is the thruster. So let's go ahead and grab that broomstick and let's look on as twin one demonstrates 3 thrusters for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then the thruster is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 thrusters together. So a couple things to keep in mind here. On the thruster, that bar is going to start on the shoulders. And we're going to take a deep breath in and hit that full squat, and then drive through the legs and press out with the arms at the top. And we really want to make sure we're harnessing the power of the hips and the legs to be the main driver of this movement, especially at the start. We are driving through those heels, getting that bar to pop off the shoulders with powerful hip extension, but then keeping those legs locked out as we press overhead. We don't want to have a re-dip under the bar, especially as we start to add weight there. So full squat, drive, press, and lock out. And if we were doing those assisted squats earlier, we can do some assisted thrusters here as well. Let's have Millicent demonstrate a couple reps. So we can sit to a chair and then stand and press overhead. And that is going to be the assisted thruster as needed. So good job here on these thrusters. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been earning badges and you'd like to add some weight to do either the scaled, intermediate, or RX weight for today's workout, then let's start to gradually add some weight, doing at least 5 to 7 thrusters at a time, adding a little bit of weight each time until we get to the weight that we want to use for our division. We have plenty of time to do some practice sets here, gradually leading up to the weight for today's workout. But if we have not been earning badges, or we're just getting back into this after a long time off, then please, let's not add any weight. That super light weight, that broomstick, is going to be more than enough for us today. It's very important that we have the right form and consistency with all our habits before we've earned the right to add or reintroduce intensity, such as by adding weight or going fast. And whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so we can get through this whole workout without losing you. Number 2, let's grab some water. let's take a sip. And let's make sure we got our water close by so we can take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number 3, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine if you choose to use one. Number 4, music. Super important. We all have different tastes. We all don't have to listen to the same music. You can blast your music as loud as you want, as long as you can still hear me helping you throughout the workout. And lastly, how are we keeping track of these rounds? This is a 5-round workout. It's easy to lose track of where we are, who we are. Is it round 3 or round 4? Where am I right now? So let's have some type of system in place that'll help us to keep track of where we are without getting lost. And if you're a teacher's pet like Mighty Mouse, first to the screen with the whiteboard having the workout written down with her scorecard, let's go ahead and show that whiteboard on screen here. So, teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time, and then we'll get going. So in just about a minute, we're going to start this timer, and we're about to do this 5-round workout. 9 bar facing over the bar burpees, 9 thrusters. So on these burpees, let's pick the option that's good for us, whether it's the prescribed all the way down to the ground, chest and thighs on the ground, and a jump over the bar. Or let's remember, we can scale this as needed, stepping as much as we need to, going to the plank if we need to, or even doing these burpees off of the incline if we need to. On the thrusters, let's make sure we're not adding weight unless we've been earning badges. But even if we are adding weight, let's pick a weight that we can go unbroken 9 thrusters for at least the first couple rounds before we maybe decide to break up that set just for pacing purposes. And if we're scaling and we need to do the assisted thruster, the sit to press overhead, that is always an option for us as well. So your score is going to be the time it takes you to get through these 5 rounds of 9 bar facing over the bar burpees and 9 thrusters. So if you are good to go, give me a thumbs up here and we'll get this going. I'm going to highlight twin 1 to get us started after a 10-second countdown. So here we go, guys. 5 rounds. 9 thrusters. But actually, we're starting with the burpees, just making sure you're paying attention. 9 bar facing over the bar burpees. 9 thrusters. How long is it going to be? Let's find out. Starting in 10 seconds. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off on these bar facing over the bar burpees, diving down. And me personally, I like to use the method that we see twin 1 using here, jumping those legs back and stepping out of it as needed. The step out of it helps to regulate the heart rate and to keep that back nice and straight. And if I really want to kick it in gear toward the end, that's where I'm jumping them back, jumping out of it, jumping all over the place. But we see lots of different options here going on for these burpees, whether it's incline burpees or the seated variation of the burpee. But we've got these 9 burpees. And let's remember to jump over the bar on that last one. Remember, the rep is down, up, over. We've count that rep after we've jumped over to the other side. And we're now getting to work on that bar. We got Millicent on that bar. we got Mighty Mouse doing some sit to stand thrusters here. And so nice work there, Mighty Mouse. Sit, stand, pressing that out overhead. Millicent getting low, pressing that out. And the breathing makes a big difference on these thrusters here, guys. We want to take a deep breath in on the way down, breathe out at the top, and that constant oxygen flow is what's going to help us to hit big sets without tiring out. So nice work here on these burpees and on these thrusters. And we got Millicent diving into round 2 here. Twin 1 diving into round 2 as well. And this is beautiful to see. Everyone using different weights, everyone doing different movement options, but almost exactly down to the second, the same pacing, the same time, meaning everyone is getting appropriately challenged to their level. And so that's always a good rule of thumb. Like, hey, let's pick these options that are helping us to kind of move with the group here. That's how we know we're picking the right options for us. And we got Millicent on this bar about to hit this second round of 9 thrusters. Deep breath in, getting low, pressing that out. Nice work here, guys, and Mighty Mouse as well on the sit to stand thrusters. Twin 1 finishing off those burpees, getting that bar in place, taking that breath, getting low, and then driving through the legs. Notice that full depth, leave no doubt, getting those hips way below the knees, driving hard, pressing that out at the top. So Millicent done with round 2, about to move on to round 3. Mighty Mouse finishing off round 2 of the thrusters here. And there she goes in Twin 1, just a couple reps left, moving some serious weight there. And everyone on round 3 and on track to finish within today's target window. And the target window is the best way to know if we've picked the right weights and the right movement options for us. If we pick the weights and the movement options that help us to finish within the target time, or in the case of an AMRAP style workout, to finish within the target amount of rounds, that's how we know we've gotten an appropriate challenge that hits the mark for what we're looking for in today's workout. And so if we're moving with the group, and let's remember, we can change options as needed throughout the workout. So just like we see Millicent choosing to do some sit to stand thrusters, let's always feel free to switch up these options when needed and as needed throughout the workout. And for instance, we see Mighty Mouse realizing, hey, you know what? I can push some more weight here. She didn't even make me have to say it. She took it on herself this time. But love to see everyone making these adjustments. And there goes Twin 1 getting that bar up into place. Getting into the thrusters on this third round. All the way down. Pressing that out. Nice work there, Twin 1. Good pacing so far. And that's a good strategy there. Even if you decide to take a rest on the set of the thrusters, resting on that shoulder rack helps us to go unbroken, but still get that recovery we need to keep pushing through that set. So nice work here, guys. And we are going into round 4, most of us here. So great work. Keep pushing that pace, getting low on these squats, getting low on these burpees. Down, up, over, chest to the ground. Jumping back, but stepping out of it. That's a good balance between speed and recovery and stability. We are doing this thing. Mighty Mouse on this 4th round of thrusters here. We got Millicent on these thrusters as well. So nice work here, guys. And I'm just going to ask you to press just a little faster there, Mighty Mouse, because you're hitting that stand and then press. Let's make this one motion if possible. So we're hitting that stand and press right away on that thruster. That's way better. Much smoother. So nice work here, guys. Moving well on these thrusters, breathing, pushing through it. Most of us closing out this 4th round. And we are now entering the lower end of the target window. And right on cue, we got Millicent finishing that 4th round and moving into the last. So nice work here, guys. Here we go. Mighty Mouse finishing out round 4, moving on to round 5. Twin 1. About to do last round, fast round. Even the barbell got the memo. But let's do this thing. Getting this last round done on this last round of burpees. Down, up, over, down, up, over. Or whatever version we are choosing to do. And we've got Mighty Mouse picking up this bar for the last time. Millicent taking a quick sip, but then about to pick up that bar for the last time. Twin 1 just a couple burpees away. And we know what to do as we cross that finish line. We hit that buzzer, we yell time, we cheer on our family. So let's do this, guys. Everyone on this last bar of thrusters here, super climactic finish. Couple more reps to go. And there goes Mighty Mouse across the finish line. Millicent just a couple reps away. And there goes Millicent across the finish line. And Twin 1 pushing real fast. Almost there, holding onto that bar. And there goes Twin 1 across the finish line. Man, that couldn't have been more exciting. But I'll tell you what, now we're at the best part of the workout, which is the cool down stretch. And this stretch is super important to help us fight soreness, increase flexibility, so we can come back day after day, staying consistent and committed. So the first stretch we're going to do today is the child's pose stretch. And that's going to be where we get those arms out in front of us. And we are sinking into this pose like this. Or if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're getting those arms up and pulling back like this. And while we're doing this, let's think of some high-low buffaloes. So high, what is one thing you feel you did well in today's workout? Low, what is something you want to do better the next time it shows up? And buffalo, what is something that surprised you about today's workout? While we're thinking about that, let's switch here and let's go from child's pose into puppy dog. So we got hips over knees, chest into the ground, and we are sinking into this like this. And while we're here, let's hear a high-low buffalo from Mighty Mouse first across the finish line today. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting the hands to the shoulder blades and pulling back like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Mighty Mouse?
My high was doing the thrusters from the standing up, sitting down. I didn't have a low, but my buffalo was when I changed weight, I could feel the difference, because when it came to that last round, I was getting out of breath, but I was pushed through it, so it was a good workout.
And that's how you know that was the right challenge. That other one was looking way too easy, and you know it, and you know that I usually say it, so you even just took that initiative, which I love. And so good job there, Mighty Mouse. And let's go ahead and switch to thread the needle. So we're going to get one arm forward, other arm through, and we are sinking into this like this. And while we're over here, let's hear from twin one. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting the one arm across the chest and pulling back like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, twin one?
I think my high today was burpees, and the low was the thrusters. Buffalo was, I was able to push myself a little faster on the thrusters than usual, but got the workout done. Happy that I did it.
Happy that he did it as well. It was like clockwork, stayed unbroken on those thrusters, and the way you hit those burpees with the right cadence, that was beautiful to see. So good job there, twin one. And let's go ahead and switch to thread the needle on the other side. So we got the other arm forward, other arm through, sinking into this like this. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Millicent. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting the other arm across the chest, pulling back like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Millicent?
Oh, well, my high was doing the WOD, because usually when I see thrusters and the burpees, it's like, okay, it's like it's a block in my mind. But the fact that I'm not allowing that to make me afraid to do it, I think that's high. And the fact that I was able to do the thrusters without my knees hurting, that is fabulous. The low, it was really, I don't think, based on the fact that I was doing alternative, I don't think that I really had a low, because I was able to keep up. And then the buffalo was just the whole WOD. It was just a great workout. I'm surprised at the amount of sweat I got for those two workouts, but it was great, and I still feel real good.
And I am so glad that you understand the importance of the mental battle and not letting these moves scare you away. And so great job there, Millicent. Well, that's our WOD, that's our stretch, that's our high-low buffalo. You know what's left, this sweaty selfie, because does this count if we don't take this selfie? Let's flex on the camera here, guys. And here we go. Sweaty selfie in 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And let's put the fist in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps, fit crew. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Big crew.
Big crew.
Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this program, then please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. Thank you very much, and see you next time.